whole coup d'etat issue which is happening in Africa, each and every day, the news of this whole coup d'etat is not stopping. We are getting new feedback, new coup d'etats in various African countries, and today we are learning of yet another coup d'etat. Now, what is really more shocking is that this particular coup d'etat which happened, it's not the first which happened this year. Remember or recall that some few weeks ago we gave you an update in Madagascar, and this particular update that we gave you, it was about a coup d'etat or military takeover together with a host of others which happened earlier in the year. But then what makes this significant is the fact that Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama for the first time has sent out a letter condemning this and saying that the soldiers who took over the country and ousted the president. Now we are learning that the president of Guinea-Bissau is currently detained. President Mahama was calling the coup plotters to step down and also make sure that the current president, who is now ousted, the Guinea-Bissau president who is now ousted, he should be retained. Now, what is even more shocking is that this country, up until recently, had their elections, and they were on the verge of announcing the winner. And before we realize, the military took over, and their argument is that there are a whole lot of shady things which is really going on. So they had to step in to stop this or perhaps mitigate the issue. Now, the coup plotters, those who are involved in this whole coup d'etat issue, they've come out to speak definitely, and then they are also saying that the main reason why they did this is because they wanted to safeguard the country, and they are blaming it on issues like drug trafficking and also people who want to attack Guinea-Bissau for no apparent reason. So we'll be looking at that video in a bit, and also be looking at other arguments and also other reports which is coming in regards with this particular issue, and how people are saying that it is very bad because just when we thought that everything was going on well, Guinea-Bissau was having a democratic election, boom, we have this particular sad news. Now, let us put this on the screens and let's get a take on what BBC said. When we come back, we'll be looking at a whole lot of things. Now, BBC News Africa posted, update, Guinea-Bissau's military says it has taken full control of the country after detaining President Umaro, Sissoco, Embaló. The officers say they've suspended the electoral process and closed all borders indefinitely. It's still unclear whether anyone else was detained along the president. So now this BBC News saying that yes, they got the news, they were updated that a coup d'etat had happened in Guinea-Bissau, and the president, whose name is Umaro, Sissoco, Embaló, he has been detained together with some of his staff. And then the newspaper went on to say that they aren't sure of the number of people who have been detained by the military. Now down there you can see this was the first update that they brought. So Guinea-Bissau's President Umaro Sissoco Embaló has been arrested by armed men just days after a disputed election in which the main opposition was barred. Gunfire was heard in the capital as Embaló and challenger Fernando Dias claimed victory. So according to the BBC, this president who has been abducted or perhaps arrested by the military, they are saying that this man up until recently was just engaged in the whole electoral system to get himself nominated for him to be or to continue as the country's president. But then what is really more shocking here is that the main opposition party was barred from actually contesting that particular election. So we don't know if this whole thing was an insurgency or so, but then the other party, which is also led by Fernando Dias, they also contest, and they are saying that they won, and the president at that time, who has now been deposed, was also saying he had won. So the armies are coming in. We don't know the reason why. We don't know their motive, and we don't also know how long they will be staying in power. Now, as I said earlier on, we have more videos here, videos of what really went on, videos of some of the things that went on the streets when all of these things were happening. So we'll be looking at some of the video, we're watching some of the video where the military was announcing the reason behind this coup d'etat. Okay, and also why they are doing this and the reason for them doing this. So it's in French, but the subtitles are in English. So please kindly pay attention to the words of the now new military leader of Guinea-Bissau.
Denis Nkanha, chefe da Casa Militar do Presidente da República. O Alto Comando Militar para a Restauração de Segurança Nacional e Ordem Pública Comunicado. Instaurado pela alta chefia de diferentes ramos das Forças Armadas, o Alto Comando Militar para a Restauração de Segurança Nacional e Ordem Pública acaba de assumir plenitude dos poderes do Estado da República da Guiné-Bissau. Profundamente comprometido com os valores de segurança nacional, paz civil, da defesa da integridade territorial e independência da Guiné-Bissau, o Alto Comando Militar para a Restauração de Segurança Nacional e Ordem Pública reage à descoberta de um plano em curso de desestabilização do nosso país, para a operacionalização da qual se montou um esquema operacional oriundo de alguns políticos nacionais com a participação do conhecido barão de droga, nacionais e estrangeiros, bem como tentativa de manipulação de resultados eleitorais. Para a efetivação desse plano, foi descoberto pelo Serviço de Informação do Estado um depósito de armamento de guerra. Assim, até que toda a situação seja convenientemente esclarecida e reposta as condições para pleno retorno à normalidade constitucional, o Alto Comando Militar para a Restauração de Segurança Nacional e Ordem Pública decide depor imediatamente o Presidente da República, encerrar até a novas ordens todas as instituições da República da Guiné-Bissau. Suspender novas ordens, até novas ordens, as atividades de todos os órgãos de comunicação social. Suspender imediatamente o processo eleitoral em curso. Encerrar a fronteira terrestre, marítimo, espaço aéreo nacional. Estabelecer recolher obrigatório das 19 horas até 6 horas, até as ordens contrárias, até repostas as condições necessárias para restaurar a normalidade constitucional do Estado da Guiné, do guineenses. O Alto Comando Militar para a Restauração de Segurança Nacional e Ordem Pública exercerá o poder do Estado a contar desta data. O Alto Comando Militar para a Restauração de Segurança do Estado e Ordem Pública apela à calma, a colaboração dos guineenses e compreensão de todos perante essa grave situação imposta pela uma emergência nacional. Bissau, 26 de novembro de 2025, Alto Comando Militar para a Restauração da Ordem Nacional. Muito obrigado.
So this was what the military actually said, and basically they were giving their reasons why the coup d'etat which happened had to happen, and some of their reasons were that they are doing this because the country is now being destabilized because of a whole lot of things, and some people were trying to do bad things in the country. So the coup d'etat in Guinea-Bissau had to happen. That is their argument. But then, as we said earlier on, the international community, they are not buying this. And if you don't know, Guinea-Bissau is a country which was formerly colonized by Portugal. So the Portuguese governments have also issued a statement saying that this is very bad. Why? Because the country had elections. The election results were supposed to be out today or tomorrow. And now military have stepped in. So basically, they've ignored the whole process. And Guinea-Bissau wanted to, be a country where they will have their name, that we've had successive governments come and go, and our democracy is strong. Because all along we are seeing many coups d'etat happen in various countries. So Guinea-Bissau wanted to follow in the steps of Ghana, but unfortunately this coup d'etat happened. So that is when His Excellency Ghanaian President John Dramani Mahama, he also came into the picture. Now, the reason why John Dramani Mahama came into the picture is so simple. He is saying that what happened in coup d'etat, what happened in Guinea-Bissau should not have happened. The coup d'etat that happened should not have happened. Now, the argument that he is making perhaps is valid because election was on. The two opposing parties one of them was supposed to win. But then what makes this also a bit shocking is that the main opposition party was so barred from contesting the elections. But regardless, Ghana's president has weighed in on this, with Ghana's foreign minister Okututa coming in to blast the Guinea-Bissau government, the Guinea-Bissau military, for doing such a thing. Now let's put this on the screens. As you can see, it says here, Ghana condemns military takeover in Guinea-Bissau, demands immediate restoration of democracy and declaration of election results. So Ghana's foreign minister Okututa is not taking this lightly. He, together with the office of the presidency here in Ghana, they are saying that what happened should not have happened. The coup d'etat that happened should not have happened. The military takeover should not have happened. And then they brought out a press release detailing why they believe that this whole coup d'etat thing is not really helping and it's not going to help. So let's put this on the screens and read it together. This is the press release and a press statement which came from Ghana's foreign ministry, and definitely it was approved and appended by the president of Ghana. Now it reads here that Ghana condemns military takeover in Guinea-Bissau, Accra, 26th of November 2025. So that was yesterday. It said the government of the Republic of Ghana strongly and unequivocally condemns the coup d'etat carried out by elements of the military in the Republic of Guinea-Bissau. The unconstitutional usurpation of authority represents a direct assault on democratic governance and disrupts the electoral process that followed the peaceful conduct of presidential and legislative elections on 23rd November 2025. So, according to the government of Ghana, what happened was unconstitutional because the country had elections just on the 23rd. And then 2 days or 3 days afterwards, the military have stepped in. Why wouldn't you allow the Electoral Commission to do their job and declare who won? Now, it further goes on to say that the government of Ghana views this development with profound concern and expresses deep dissatisfaction in the brazen attempt to overturn the will of the people of Guinea-Bissau. The action has dangerously intercepted or interrupted the democratic trajectory of the nation and obstructed the anticipated announcement of the election results scheduled for 27th November 2025. So today was the day that Guinea-Bissau's Electoral Commission was supposed to announce who had won the elections. And yes, so the military took over. And Ghana is saying that they are not happy with what went on. Now, it further goes on to say that the government of Ghana views this development with profound concern and expresses this deep dissatisfaction at the brazen attempt to overturn the will of the people Guinea-Bissau. The action has dangerously interrupted the democratic trajectory of the nation, obstructed the anticipated announcement of the election results scheduled for 27th November 2025. However, Ghana calls for immediate restoration of constitutional order in Guinea-Bissau and urges all actors to respect the democratic process. Any grievances insisting from the election must be addressed solely through peaceful, transparent, and legally recognized mechanisms. So, Ghana is saying that, whatever has happened. But then still, they want the military to hand over power to the government. Because according to them, this whole thing that has happened is only taking the country back. So, and Ghana also believe that whatever has happened, if you have an issue with the election, if you have an issue with the results, the best thing for you to do is to go to the court and make your case heard. But then the people of Guinea-Bissau says that, or their view is that we've been having this whole conversation for the past years, but still nothing is being done. And then we are here, the politicians are on and on and on and on, and nothing better is being done. Now, it further goes on to say that the government of Ghana further demands that the security and fundamental rights of all citizens and foreign nationals be safeguarded. Particularly, emphasis is placed on the protection of officials of the ECOWAS election observation mission currently deployed in Guinea-Bissau, whose safety and secure passage must be guaranteed without delay. So Ghana is also saying that whatever has happened, but then the ECOWAS election committee, which is basically overseeing the election and the electoral process, Now they are caught in the middle of all of these whole brouhaha and all of this coup d'etat. So the best thing for them to do, or the best thing for the military, the Guinea-Bissau military to do, is for them to make sure that those who are trapped in the country, the foreign nationals, they'll be given a passage to safely leave the country. Because as it is now, many people in the country, especially the foreign nationals, their lives are at stake. And this is something which Ghana says that, we are not happy with it. The president of Ghana disapproves of this whole thing. And they want the military to basically step down and make sure that all those who have been trapped in the country, including Ghanaian nationals, be released from the country or be allowed to leave the country peacefully. Now, it goes on to say that Ghana appeals to the people of Guinea-Bissau to remain calm, exercise maximum restraint, and avoid actions that may escalate tensions. The government of Ghana reaffirms its full support for ECOWAS and the African Union in the coordinated response to the situation in accordance to the regional and continental protocols on democracy, good governance, and constitutional rule. So basically, the government or Mahama's administration also further went on to say that, if you are watching this and you're in Guinea-Bissau, okay, and you feel like, oh, whatever has happened is very bad, it's something that we are not happy with, and that we feel like we've been trapped, we feel like our will have been subverted, we feel like our democracy, our freedom have been trampled upon, Ghana says it is with you, and that it will work through ECOWAS to restore calm. I don't know how this is going to work, because most of these Portuguese countries and Francophone countries, these countries which were formerly colonized by the France and also Portugal, whenever a coup d'etat happened in those countries, what you see is that they quickly leave the ECOWAS and they form a great alliance with Russia. So we don't know if Guinea-Bissau will go on that tangent. But in Guinea-Bissau, over the past 30 years, it has had over 9 coup d'etat. So it is not new. But then it was trying to build its democracy. And then bam, the military thing did happen. And the military is saying that this didn't happen because we had issues with the way the country was being governed. But then Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama believes that whatever is happening is not the best. If you have issues, just like how, up until recently, Ghana, we had an issue with the elections. You go to court, you make your case, you bring the pink sheet. But then some military personnel are of the view that this whole thing, which have been going on and on and on and on, whenever they take it to court, the government in power subverts the will of the people. They make sure that they turn the hands of justice to favor them. Do you get what I'm saying? So, this is definitely a sad issue, but then it's something worth watching. And then we are looking at this from all perspectives, okay? To make sure that at the end of the day, whatever is happening, we give you all the latest in regards with this. So we'll be looking at all of these things closely as we try and move on to the other updates. Once again, we are live, so you can bring in your comments, whatever you want to talk about, or perhaps if you want to share your opinion, we are here for you. So that is the whole basic thing which is really going on in Guinea-Bissau. Currently, it has been reported, but then what we can also say is that the international community have joined hands. They are in solidarity condemning these acts and these actions, saying that it is very unconstitutional and it wouldn't augur well for the development and the growth of Guinea-Bissau in terms of the whole coup d'etat thing. So that is the whole issue that is really happening. Now, let's move on to this particular issue.